Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today I'll be going over the new Mythic Famine that was just added to the chest. It'll be in chests for this week only in Glory chests, Gem chests, and VIP chests. Also, the Mythic of War has been taken out of the chest for this week, so that Famine is the only Mythic that can drop from Mythic drops. So let's get into looking at the troop. Click out. And Famine. And he is a daemon. Like War, he does have a 25 mana cost, uses yellow, green, and brown. And his ability drains all mana from the enemies, which is really strong, and then deals 19 damage to an enemy boosted by the mana drain. And that's at a 1-to-1 ratio. So if you're stealing something like 50 mana total across all enemy troops, you'd be gaining a total of 50 more damage. So that'd be 69 damage just right there. His traits, unfortunately, are a bit weak. There's Jinx, which doesn't do too much. The Reinforce, which recovers 1 armor every turn, which also doesn't do too much. And then the Aspect of Famine, which reduces the enemy's first troop, one of their skills by 2 every single turn, which is kind of like a focused Moloch. Moloch, of course, doing one skill suppression to all enemies anytime he does a 4 times or 5 times match. So this doesn't get to trigger as much, but it does get like a constant 1 trigger every single turn. So it's kind of similar to it, just not as effective, which is kind of weird for a mythic that is trait isn't as effective as a legendary. But let's get into some teams with him. First one we have here is pretty common, Green Seer or Giant Spider. Green Seer fills up Giant Spider, then Giant Spider fills up Green Seer, and they just loop between each other. The Green Seer excess mana will fill up Famine, and Giant Spider's excess mana will fill up the Miststalker. You see her confers all the green, Giant Spider does all the purple, and you just keep looping with that. Miststalker will do the true damage to the weakest, which will be your kill one, and Famine you kind of have here just to keep mana draining, plus it'll end up doing quite a bit of damage. One thing with Famine is it is better when the enemy has more troops, because that's more mana that they can have on their entire team. Famine's also really good against exploding troops like Karnax, and Gorgolfa and things like that, because they accumulate a lot of mana on top of the entire team. So Famine is really good at countering that, since it mana drains all and does damage based on it. The second team here I have with Moloch that I mentioned earlier, with his suppression on 4 to 5 times matches. It allows for a lot of skill reduction between Famine and Moloch. And of course he also has a mana drain as well that boosts by their mana that they have, so you get to control their mana by quite a bit. And here we have Mercy, who will be converting out the purples that this team doesn't use, as well as having her empowered from the very first turn, which will be able to fill up both Moloch and possibly Famine. And of course, Alchemist here selects a mana color and turns it to yellow, and you'll be able to use that to do any of the colors that you're missing. You'll be missing blue and purple after Mercy dies, so Alchemist will be able to handle those, and you'll be able to keep filling up Moloch and Famine, as well as triggering Moloch suppression over and over again. And the last team here I have for newer players. Quite a few newer players ended up getting War, so I figured quite a few will also get Famine. This is really easy to use because both the Rockworms are common, and Deep Borer is rare. So it's fairly easy to get these 3 early on. And Famine, of course, wouldn't be, but if you get lucky, you might get them. Anyways, this is just the common Deep Borer deck with 2 Rockworms. You put the Deep Borer in the middle. So once the first Rockworm dies, you'll still have a tank for it that'll be able to create mana for it. And of course, with Rockworms, you just keep looping between the 2 Rockworms, and then all the excess mana will go to Famine. So that actually ends up working pretty well. It didn't work with War, because War had red and blue as well, so it blocked it and only had 3 manas. But because Famine has 2 different colors, that's 5 colors. So it actually works pretty well with Famine. So let's get into actually showing some teams with it. Go into a PvP match. I'm not doing it versus that's for sure. Let's do it versus a Gorgolfa. I mentioned this earlier that Famine is really good against it. Let's use it with the Moloch team that I showed here, with the Mercy and all that. Let's see how this goes. This is actually the second time I'm trying to record this specific video because somehow the audio messed up the first time, but Not too big a deal. Let's do this. First turn convert.
Mana surge.
Let's do that. Got the next turn. Already got Moloch up. I feel like doing that. And just, yeah. No surge, but we did get an extra turn, so that worked really well. I'll take this.
Mana surge.
Now Famine's only 2 mana short. Oh, I didn't see that there. I probably could have taken that last turn. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll suppress it. Let's see if we can get a convert next turn. Take that. We just reduced all their attack. There is a glitch that happened in the last video, which isn't in this one now. It will probably be fixed really soon because Famine was just added a couple hours ago. But its aspect of war, it doesn't always show the animation for HP, and sometimes, like, if it triggers, it'll show him with like 13 HP now, but if you click on it, it'll show 11, and then it'll like have a delay on when it actually displays it correctly. But I'm pretty sure that'll be fixed soon. Hopefully I can get it to trigger this video. Let's just use that.
Mana surge.
I'll just keep checking every single one to see. Like, there it does armor. It shows it when it does armor. It's normally just with the HP when it sometimes does it incorrectly.
Mana surge.
Oh, I just gave it skull. It's not a big deal though. Want to get a yellow match somewheres? Anywheres? Yeah, right there. I'll give him skulls again. But actually, let me do it there. I won't give him skulls. Now we got both their ability up. Actually, I probably should have let Gorgolfa cast early on, because now he won't be able to fill all the mana everywhere. But I will take these skulls, even though I don't need the mana. They'll skull me back. And I will leave him those skulls. And I will take him out with this. So now I'll let this one Gorgolfa fill. So I'll try leaving his colors. Let's see. And as I do that, I take his colors. Let's take the reds.
Mana surge. Mana surge. Mana surge.
Many surges. I can't convert the purples for an extra turn, so I'll just have to take these.
Mana surge.
And yeah, I'll fill it up. And she'll keep healing herself, so she'll actually act as a tank. Oh, I didn't notice that one, but that will actually be beneficial to us. We'd actually do more damage if we can get Gorgolfa to cast.
Mana surge.
So I'm actually going to let it cast right now. I'm not going to take out its mana. I will, however, take out the bat's mana, just to make sure the explosion doesn't give him full mana. Actually, even if it did, it wouldn't matter this turn, because I have the drain. So now we'll drain, even though we just let him take all that damage. And let's use on Gorgolfa since it's the tankiest. And that just killed it.
Mana surge.
So let's see. Yeah, I'll take the yellow.
Mana surge.
Get Moloch back up so we can kill that before it heals.
Mana surge.
I can leave those skulls there because even with its 2 times damage, it's not going to be able to kill it because it's been suppressed to the point that its attack is only 12. Ah. And I'll use it on red.
Mana surge.
Like that. And yeah, I'll let it take skulls and kill it with the weakness. And then that just leaves Hera. It'll be a really easy pickoff. Like that. We got his magic. His magic's like so low probably right now, 14. It's getting down there.
Mana surge.
We got Alchemist back up. Now we can use that on the green. Yeah, green.
Mana surge.
And now let's fill up Famine. And now we can just double cast on it. Use Famine, since it does slightly more damage that way. And, oh, never mind, that won't be enough to completely finish it off. I thought I could do it with Moloch, but we will need slightly more damage. And there it is, or slightly more damage. And then Moloch will finish it next turn.
Mana surge.
After he does his little cast. Oh, did it just do it there? Like, it actually, I think it did. It triggers on HP and it doesn't show the HP. Sometimes it shows the different HP numbers. I don't know. It's just really weird with how it displays HP. It'll probably be fixed in a couple days. But yeah, that is the new Famine Mythic. It is kind of interesting. I do prefer the War Mythic over Famine, especially after War has been buffed so much. Because Famine doesn't actually do that much once the enemy starts getting fewer and fewer troops. It eventually gets to the point that it's just doing its base damage or doing a slight drain, and the amount of damage it does is really small compared to its mana cost as soon as the enemy gets like 2 or 1 troops. But that will do it for this video. I hope this was helpful, and thanks for watching.